Hello there, Joseph. How you doing? Just doing a mic test. How you doing?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks for having me
Hey,
on today.
there you are. Oh no, no. Thank you for being on today, right?
Oh,
I freaking I actually was super looking forward to this. As soon as I heard Open Dollar was coming on to the crypto miners, I was excited, and I just was like, just looking forward to this all morning. I've been up probably. I'm here in the West Coast, so it's 8 o'clock for me, but I've been up since 4 a.m. just preparing all morning for just this one and a couple other things I'm doing. But I know this was going to be a great one, and I wanted to make sure I reviewed all my notes and just was well informed and wanted to just deep dive into this because I'm telling you, Open Dollar has been doing some big things in the space. So I'm just really glad to have you guys here.
fantastic. I love that excitement. I
So
wake up
you know,
every
what's funny
morning
is,
excited to work on Open Door, just like that. Not at 4 a.m., but with the same enthusiasm.
well, you know, like I always say, crypto never sleeps. So the timing is in UTC time. So I like to get ahead of time and get on the ball because in my time I'm already 7 hours, 8 hours late technically into the world. So I have to get up early. It helps me wake up, get my coffee started, and get going. So, but yeah, I'm excited to have you here. I've been reviewing. I've known you guys for a while. I've been a big fan of Arbitrum and Ethereum and everything like that. So I do a lot of research into projects and products. And I was excited when I heard you guys were coming. So I don't want to waste too much time on just a casual talk. So we can just kind of just start getting into it. And so
Sure.
I'll just start up with an opening statement and then just welcome crypto miners. Buckle up because we're going to be deep diving into the future of stablecoin with a revolutionary twist. So please welcome Open Dollar. It's a game changer and redefining stability while pushing the boundaries of what is possible in the DeFi space. Everybody knows that stable coins are a staple in the DeFi scene. It's needed, and it helps. I think the infrastructure kind of grow on a more stable base, right? Less volatility overall. So having another key player in the space is obviously welcomed, and we would love to have you here and just deep dive into the product. But before we do, let's get just a small introduction of yourself, maybe a little bit about the
Sure.
team, and then a small overview of Open Dollar before we actually deep dive into it.
Yeah, I'm Joseph Shirizi. I'm one of the founders of Open Dollar. I've been working as a Solidity developer for the last 7 years. About 1% of all of the Ethereum mainnet transactions this year have gone through smart contracts that I written or have contributed to, which is a pretty
Well
exciting
done.
start for me. Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you very much.
that's like your own little stat that you could just be like, you know, I'm proud of that I was a big part of what is now people utilize every day. I mean that's freaking awesome,
Right.
man. That is
Yeah,
awesome.
so I love Solidity. I love programming and building really cool things for Ethereum and for the crypto community. And I've been doing that for a long time. Our team is currently at about 8 or 9 people right now. And it's a lot of Ethereum OGs and people who have been working in DeFi for a long time. And, we're really excited to bring some new innovations to market and really push the boundaries of what's possible with stablecoins and with decentralized finance.
I totally agree. I totally agree. After reading through a lot of the information, you've definitely taken a more different approach. But you know, in the end, with all your guys' work you've been done, it's obviously a more stable approach overall. At least the math and all the data is showing that you guys are definitely on the right track of something special here. So definitely glad to have you here. And obviously the overview is pretty good. So let's dive into some of the main utilities. The main
Sure.
product and services that you guys have for Open Dollar.
Yeah, so Open Dollar is a new stablecoin being built for the Arbitrum layer 2, and it is backed by liquid staking tokens like Lido ETH or Rocket Pool ETH, and those are tokens that represent deposits into the Ethereum proof of stake contracts, which returns yield. It returns about 4 to 5% right now. So all of the collateral is always earning yield, and we never take any cut of that. Always the people depositing earn 100% of that yield. So a new stablecoin on Arbitrum backed by liquid staking tokens, and it's always over collateralized. So the value of the collateral backing the stablecoin is always worth significantly more than the total amount of the stablecoins being borrowed against it. And so there's never a risk of having a stable coin that is not backed by anything. It's always fully over collateralized, and you can always access the funds that are backing it. And then the biggest innovation that I'm really happy to announce here is that the vault system, where people can lock their tokens in and borrow stable coins against, is actually controlled by NFTs instead of being tied to accounts. So if that sounds kind of complex, the fun way that I like to explain it is you would never take out a 30-year mortgage on a house or take out a huge loan on a home if you couldn't pay back, if you couldn't sell the house without having to pay back your debt. So if you, in normal traditional finance, when you have a loan, you can always sell the thing you bought with the loan to pay it back. Right. And that doesn't really exist in DeFi right now because stablecoin lending protocols, Aave, Compound, all these DeFi giants, they're just not flexible because you have to pay back your debt before you can unlock your collateral. And for us on Open Dollar, what's really, really unique is now that the debt positions and the vaults are tied to NFTs instead of being tied to an account, you can sell that entire NFT or send it somewhere else or buy it in a marketplace like OpenSea or any other NFT marketplace. And because of that, you can sell the entire position without having to pay back your debt. And I think that brings DeFi up to the feature set of traditional finance in a way that no one has before. And I'm really, really excited to kind of unveil that to the world as we get ready for our launch in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, so no, that's actually pretty exciting. That is actually pretty exciting because like there's definitely situations like in the real world trading where that happens all the time, and it's very beneficial for both parties. And so this is kind of gives a whole different utility on top of your already product service. So I definitely like that, and it allows for like that for you to build an open marketplace or be utilized on other open marketplaces. So I think that's pretty cool. It's good value proposition that obviously people are missing, like that could easily be implemented, especially with the new standards that are out. So
that's right. So we're trying to create a new standard here, a new standard for vaults where they're not just tied to accounts, but they're tied to tokens and transferable. So you can buy and sell loans, you can buy and sell debt positions, and because it's more flexible, people can get in and out of positions easier with less capital. So that means more capital efficiency and also just more safety, because if you have a way to get out of a leveraged position without having to get liquidated or come up with the collateral in that exact moment, you can sell your whole vault instead of getting liquidated. And that is going to save people fees. It's going to save people money, and it's going to improve DeFi overall. So I know one of our collateral types is Rocket ETH. And we're actually doing a giveaway with Miner Labs right now, giving away some Rocket ETH to anyone who really wants it, I guess. And yeah, just trying to teach more people about how this works, what the types of collateral are, and how else we can make crypto safer and more accessible to more people.
That's awesome. No, I totally agree. I think that it's underlying tech that needs to be utilized, and it even gives NFTs another breath of fresh air after like the big fall of NFTs over the last year. It kind of really, like, everybody was, oh, it's just a piece of art, it's just a piece of art. Well, no, now it's actually a utility that's bringing financial opportunities, different opportunities that weren't available a year ago. And like we're saying, that we're supposed to be changing the way people utilize finance and grow their financial portfolio. And basically that's what you're doing. You're allowing someone else to gain access to something without having to go through all the headache on top of that. Because there's some people that just don't know how to set up leveraging and set up that stuff very well. But if they trust people in this space that are really good at doing it, and they see that this is a value proposition, but the dude's ready to move on, he would be able to sell that, and the person would be able to have to start his position on a more kind of even ground, I'd say, than having to do a bunch of research yourself and waste a lot of money. Someone's already done most of the math and work for you. Now, that's still not financial advice, and I'm not saying it always works, but it at least gives you kind of where to start kind of idea. especially
Right.
when you're trying to get to new possibilities, new opportunities out there. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot that you could build out of that. So it's pretty cool. And
Thank
the
you.
next thing I
Yeah.
want to talk about is a little bit about the tokenomics. How you guys are gonna do your distribution and or fee structure and the utility behind the OD token overall.
Yeah. So the fee structure is very transparent. There's no opening vault fees. There's no paying back your debt fees. I think a lot of new stablecoin protocols are kind of going crazy with the fees that they're just kind of they're inventing fees. We're inventing features. So it's very simple. We charge an annual fee of 2% or less, depending on what type of vault you're creating. And that's just charged over the course of the year. So if you only open a vault, if you only keep it open for a week, then you only pay 2% divided by 50, whatever that is. And that is just charged continuously on any debt, not on any deposits. And like I said before, we don't take any fees on the collateral deposit. So everyone depositing Rocket ETH or SC ETH earns that full yield themselves. And I just think that's more fair and more transparent. So we're never going to add more fees for that. I think we'll just have a better product, and better products will generate more revenue for us overall if we keep the fees really simple. So that's it. It's just a percentage on your debt, and that's the only real fee. That money.
I definitely agree. I
Yeah,
definitely agree on that stance though, because as a stable coin, you're pushing less of instant revenue and long-term volume for positioning. You want user base utilizing, you want liquidity being backed by the OD dollar. You want your entire ecosystem to flourish on a more scaled position rather than just earning off of like a farm would off of a smaller ecosystem. I definitely see how you've positioned yourself that way. It's definitely smarter, right? You're looking for a long-term play, not, hey, I'm going to just make as much as I can, and if it fails, it fails. No, this is something that's going to be here for a while. It's already has strong foundation, so you're building it to be better user friendly. I like it. Obviously,
Thank you.
I was very enthusiastic right when we started about it. So, but and the transparency, everybody always talks about that, but it's really, you could talk about transparency, but it's really proving it in your product, and obviously you guys' foundation has proven it right there.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
the other unique part about the tokenomics, thank you for saying all that, and
Yeah.
we are build something that's long term here, and I think the tokenomics reflects that as well. Is a lot of DeFi protocols, where does the money go? It's hard to say a lot of times, and sometimes you have to lock your tokens to get things, and it's not as transparent as it could be or as simple as it could be. And Open Dollar is kind of taking this radical approach where the fees should go directly to creating value for the governance token holders. And what does that look like? Well, there's an auction house where every time the protocol has earned some amount of fees, it is going to sell those fees, sell the tokens that it has earned into the market, and use that to buy the governance token and burn it. And so all of the fees from the protocol are being split between the DAO treasury that the governance token holders get to vote on where that money goes. So that can get paid, so that we can pay developers, we can pay, minor labs to do giveaways and, give away money from the treasury or however we want to do it, and spend that money. And then the other portion of it goes directly to buying and burning the governance token from the market. And that is basically like doing a stock buyback constantly with all of the revenue. So when we talk about, okay, how is the governance token going to accrue value? I think a lot of people have to do a bunch of gymnastics to try to convince you that is going to happen. And with Open Dollar, it is so clear because the fees are going straight to this auction house, straight to buying the governance token and removing it from circulation. I hope that makes sense. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's a, like you're saying, it's a deflationary but in a way, it also helps with the building of the ecosystem and allows the governance to feel like it has more weight and control of what's actually being done with the protocol. So it's very clear. At least I understand it. But I'm very in depth with what's going on with the governance. I'm actually a part of a couple governance as an advisory because I enjoy having a community being part of the building. And I think that's a whole aspect of what crypto is fostered comparative to the Web 2 community or Web 2 world in the financial institute is everybody's kind of just, to themselves. That's my money. But in this world in crypto, it's all about sharing the value, helping each other and grow. And I think having that same kind of like community sentiment is great. And, everybody's there to talk about what they're trying to build and work together. But not only that, they actually get to vote on the way the money's being spent. So I think that's awesome because they're the ones that supporting you and giving you the money and utilizing it to get you the money. Why not have them have a little decision in it? So I definitely love that. Very transparent, very community driven. As for that, do you have any like was it taxes on the token, or is it just zero tax like a normal stable token?
Nope, normal
Right.
stable coin. I don't believe in putting taxes on tokens. I think that just makes it more likely to be a scam. And like you said
I totally
before,
agree.
we're not trying to juice money out of it. We're not trying to extract value from the people using it. We're trying to provide them as much value as possible. And in doing so, that drives value to the governance token.
I totally agree, and I already knew the answer was going to be well put, but I had to ask it because if I did it, then at the end when I was asking a community question, we would have had like 3 community members asking that, even though it's such a dry question and I knew better. But just put it out in the open air so people would know that it's zero tax. Obviously, not a farm token. These are real devs based and trying to build something unique here. So I love it. With that being said, what about security? What levels or measures have you done to kind of make sure to alleviate any security threats or any concerns community members might have had?
Yeah, that's a great question. Security obviously has to be our number one priority at all times. So we've already done a Code Arena audit on Code Arena, which is an open, transparent security contest where we put up more than $35,000 in prizes for people all over the world to come and contribute to our code base, to check it out, and to report any bugs that they found. And we had 0 critical bugs that were found, and several medium and a few low-level bugs that were found, but 0 criticals. And so we've been working through those to finish those, and we actually could have probably launched the protocol more than a month ago, but we decided that we're going to wait a little bit longer and make sure that even the smallest level, informational level issues are tackled and completely solved and verified. So that's one. We're also working with an analytics firm to do constant monitoring of the protocol so that if there's ever any type of hack or security issues, we can actually detect it before it's happened, just by the way that people are interacting with the protocol. So I'm pretty excited for that. And there will probably be at least one other security audit before everything is fully live, if not 2. And it really is an absolute top priority for us to make sure that everything is secure. 100% of the code for OpenDollar is open source. It is on our GitHub on github.com/open-dollar, right? And that is also linked from our website at opendollar.com. So we are totally committed to open source and to making sure that we're doing this right. I don't care if we have to delay longer. Our testnet is live and anyone can go online and try out our testnet on opendollar.com right now and help us continue testing the protocol in the testnet phase before we go live. And yeah, that is basically everything that I do is about security and trying to keep people safe.
Oh, that's awesome. So basically that thing was like in another word, a bug bounty, but
Yes.
also like not just a bug bounty, but more of like a contributor bounty too. So if obviously they had skills and set that can even help increase and effectively increase the code security, then the help there in the prices there. For me, I think bug bounties ultimately are just as valuable as going to the big names like Solid Proof or Certec to get it done. Because as much as I love how incredible those guys are at finding bugs or issues, it's good to have a second opinion, a third opinion. Sometimes a bunch of random people around the world can bring new insight into either stuff that makes it more efficient or clean up, like you're saying, some code that just, even though it doesn't really matter and you could have launched, it might affect something later on. Let's say later on you
Yeah.
launch and you're doing updates to the system and it says requires you to go back and clean that up. It's going to be a lot more hassle than just taking care of it now, right? I always say that,
That's
like,
right.
if you can do it now, just do it. Like, don't come back to it. Right.
So I'm
So
gonna add to that and just say more than 100 auditors looked at our code during our community during our bug bounty event that we did last month with Code Arena. So we had more than 100 auditors working on it. And when you go to a big firm, and this is like a bit of an industry secret, when you go to a big firm, and I have worked with Open Zeppelin, I have worked with Trail of Bits before at different protocols before I started Open Dollar. When I was working at OpenSea, for example, they have like little teams and they assign a team to you, and you might pay $50 or even $100,000 for an audit, depending on how many lines of code there are, but they don't make any guarantees if they're going to find any bugs or not. And so they get paid whether or not they find bugs. And when you do a contest like we did, the auditors only get paid when they find bugs. So if you don't find anything, you don't get paid. And we said, hey,
yep.
We're going to put up a little bit more than $35,000 in this contest. And we paid out all of it because everyone who was contributing did such a good job. And the incentives are there for people to work harder and find more and go deeper into the code than anything. So, I'm very proud of the security things that we're taking into account at Open Dollar, and I'm very confident in it as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. It's easier to motivate somebody with the gold before you hand it to them. Like
Exactly.
if you show them, hey, you do a good job. This is yours. I have no problem giving it to you. But it's just like, why would you hand someone the pay before they do any work? They're gonna go and who knows? I'm not trying to judge anybody, but it's proven in fact over time. That's why you get paid after your work in the real world, right? You don't get paid before. You lose motivation. So definitely agree, and I like that more because you do definitely get people to look at it way in depth, way more, and I know exactly what you're talking about. I've worked with a few teams like that, and yeah, I'm not trying to say anything bad about them out there, but they work hard. They're very professionals, but they're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, and so having 100 versus a small team of 3 to 5 working on your contract is obviously a lot better. And they're all industry professionals. These are people that have been doing it all their life. This is a lot of them. This is how they earn their living, is bug bounties. And so you have to be good if you're doing that. So it's not like you're just a slack job, anybody looking at code. If you're going to get paid, you have to be good. So definitely agree with that. I like it. So touching back a little bit, you talked about the governance, obviously, and it's a big part, and obviously in community engagement is a big part. So what have you done to kind of grow the community to encourage them to be a big part of the centralized governance part? Have you done like campaigns, or do you have referral or ambassador programs set up so that when you're ready to really start scaling out the user base and the governance, you have that already laid out?
Yeah, so we are building this for our community and with our community, right? We're not just a company sending things out into the void. We're trying to do this with everyone and building it for the crypto community, and especially for our friends on Arbitrum and people that are already using these things. So we're planning. We haven't announced yet, but we're planning, some pretty good incentives around the governance token and actually participating and using the protocol. And we'll be announcing what those are shortly. The other thing is we have a Galaxy campaign right now with $10,000 in prizes. for people who help us grow our following and help us get the word out about what Open Dollar is doing and how we're changing the game for stablecoins forever. And so that's $10,000 on Galaxy, and you can learn more about that on our Twitter at twitter.com/open_dollar. And yeah, so we're really trying to grow this and give people a lot of ways to contribute, even if you're not technical. You know, all of these 100 auditors from our Code Arena audit, those are now contributors to Open Dollar. And even if you're not technical or you can't code, you know, I think that represents most people. We still want to have ways to contribute and to invite your friends to learn more about Open Dollar and have a really great incentive and reward program around that. So I'm excited for the giveaway with crypto miners. It's great to, you know, get the word out more and share it with more people through giveaways. And then we also have the Galaxy campaign right now. And if you have other ideas too for ways to engage people and show more folks about how stablecoins can improve their lives and why we're making the safest, most flexible stablecoin, you know, let us know. We're here. We're in our Discord where our team is very responsive, and yeah, we want to build this together.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I pinned both giveaways up at the top. So I have the giveaway for the Galaxy I just pinned, and then the ones that you have with us I have pinned up. So community members, if you're looking to earn a little something and to know more about OD, this is a good opportunity to have a chance to earn a little, be able to utilize the ecosystem early with a little bit of rewards. And also, it also helps, you know, bring more light to what they're building. I tell people all the time, even if you're not going to buy in, even if you're not super interested in it, if you see value there, or if you know people that might see value there, there's no harm in a like or a retweet or joining the socials and showing support. It doesn't cost anything, but it's also a huge value for their branding for any project out there. So I always employ my community members, do some research, look at their product. If it's something you love, you know, be very active. And if you're not super interested, at least tweet it out so that people that might be interested in it get to see it. You might have a network of people that are looking for the next place to call their home, and having a good engaged community with a governance protocol and being stablecoin is just a lot of value there. That it's not the everyday product you see out there. So you know you're going to get some catchy eyes, and I believe that that's something that I would do. But also, Galaxy is a huge platform, 10K up to grabs. Jump on there, show the socials some love, do their campaign. I know it's probably not very hard and easy to do. It doesn't take very much time out of your life, but there's a good chance for some rewards. Sorry, I got something in my throat right when I was talking. But yeah, so that being said, I love it. That's actually a really great way to go about doing it. Going with those, because in my eyes, it's good free marketing. And like you said, if you have any ideas, any type of advice out there, they're all open ears. Join their socials, join their Telegram. Is it Telegram or Discord where you guys mainly hang out?
Mostly on Discord. We have a community Discord that's totally open right now. And we also have a Telegram announcements channel. But if you want to get in touch and you want to really engage and learn more about Open Dollar, I definitely suggest using our Discord. We even have a questions channel where we've trained an AI on the Open Dollar documentation that you can ask it any questions, and it will go read our smart contracts and then get back to you with an answer. So there's a lot going on in the Discord, and yeah, definitely suggest joining there.
Awesome. Yes, I always like to ask that question, especially ones that are really community driven, because I hate to send them to one place and then that's not where the community's at. And Discord's kind of the new. I wouldn't say it's new, because obviously it's been around for a while, but it is starting to take more notice on the crypto side with projects lately. So I always like to make sure I direct that appropriately. Well, we've covered a lot. I don't know if you had anything to add on some of the utilities that we talked about or any of the information that we were already covering. But if not, I can move on to maybe my next segment that I wanted to kind of talk about.
No, go for it, please.
All right. Well, obviously, it's, we talked about, your value proposition, what you're trying to do out there. But what I don't really understand totally, and it could be just because I'm still new to understanding the full meat of how stable coins work with LSD powered vaults? Like how do your vaults like I'm so lost right now. I'm trying to read this because I had a night. I have it on my comments here, but I don't know how I wrote it down, like the way I was thinking it and reading it. But how am I utilizing these liquid staking tokens that are backing, or how are they backing it and not losing? What's that? How secure is it that it's not going to lose value, even though it's gaining that 4 or 5%, but the 4 or 5% is going back to the revenue generation to the people that are whole, staking into the platform. But how does that hedge against the volatility?
Sure.
Is that
Sure.
I'm trying to word it correctly.
So
I had a big old and I just can't spill it out, but I know you know
the
what I'm talking about.
collateral is earning interest, right? You have Lido
Okay.
ETH, you have Rocket Pool ETH. They're both of the market cap of those tokens is in the billions, right? And so we assume that those are going to be safe. There's always a risk. There's always smart contract risk when you're using crypto products, right? But there's billions and billions of dollars in Rocket Pool and in Lido, and they're so huge. Everybody has audited them, and we're just going to assume that those are going to be really stable, really safe, and are pretty much the highest quality collateral that we can have in DeFi. And we can lock those into the open dollar protocol. And even though they're earning interest, that does not make the value of the stablecoin go up, because the liquidity for the stablecoin is separate from the deposits, right? The deposits are in open dollar. The liquidity is in Camelot or Uniswap or some other place, some other exchange, centralized exchanges or decentralized ones. And we're working to get open dollar into more centralized exchanges like Coinbase and others as soon as we can, as soon as it's live in the next few weeks. And how does it stay stable is really the core of the question, right?
Yeah, because like obviously I still have a lot. I was doing a lot of research into Lido because I love Lido for a long time, but I never really understood until I started reading your white paper how you guys were utilizing it. And then I got into it and I was like, this is a little over my head. I was like, so I was like, I'm gonna put this in my notes just to kind of bring it up if we had some extra time.
Okay.
And you blew through all my information so much that, or all my questions so easily with all this information. I was like, I got about 5 minutes I could touch on this. So
Okay. So if we back up before you even get to open dollar, where does the yield for these yield bearing tokens like Lido ETH and Rocket Pool ETH, where does the yield come from? Right. And it's very sustainable, it's very transparent, and it's not inflationary. And that's actually pretty rare in crypto, where most of the yield is basically made up. But for these tokens, you know that Ethereum has transitioned to a proof of stake consensus algorithm. So our blockchain for Ethereum and the other ones that rely on it do not use proof of work like Bitcoin anymore. They use proof of stake. And what that means is instead of wasting a lot of electricity, you get to deposit 32 ETH into Ethereum staking and stake your money that you're going to validate a transaction correctly. And if you validate a transaction correctly, everybody agrees, all the nodes agree, it does all the blockchain math, and it says, hey, you did it right. Here's a small reward. Here's a little, here's the fees from that from those transactions that you validated, and you get a portion of that. And that fees that Ethereum is earning goes to the validators. And those validators, a lot of them have used tools like Lido, like Rocket Pool to stake their Ethereum, because 32 ETH is a lot of money. Most people do not have 32 ETH to their name or to use to put into staking, right? And so Rocket Pool lets us stake with only 1 ETH or half an ETH and gives you a receipt whenever you put your ETH into this pool. You get a receipt token called Rocket ETH or called ST ETH if you're using Lido. And the value, instead of going to Lido, instead of going to the node operators, it goes to whoever is holding that receipt token. And so the value of wrapped ST ETH and the value of Rocket ETH is always slowly ticking up. If you go on CoinGecko right now and you check the price of Rocket ETH versus the price of regular Ethereum, the Rocket Pool ETH is always going to be worth a little bit more because it's constantly earning between 4 and 5%. It depends on the day slightly based on how many fees Ethereum has generated that day. And the other side of proof of stake is you've staked your ETH that you're going to validate a transaction correctly. And if you don't validate it correctly, then you have to pay a big fee. And so that's how the Ethereum network stays secure and stays tamper-proof and resistant to other people taking it over, which is really great. We want to secure the future of Ethereum, the future of public goods, and this open, transparent financial system that we're trying to build. And one of the ways to do that is to add more utility and more things that you can do with your Lido ETH and your Rocket Pool ETH, which is one of our motivations for Open Dollars. Now, instead of just earning the yield on these tokens, you can also borrow against them on Open Dollar for very transparent, low interest rates to get leverage, to access capital, to pay your rent. I'm going to borrow against my Rocket ETH. I don't want to have to sell it. I want to hold it for the next 100 years. I think my grandkids are going to retire on the Rocket Pool ETH that I already have. And I still want to be able to pay my rent. I still want to be able to buy my groceries. So I'm going to borrow some Open Dollar against that and use that money day to day. And if I ever need to get out of that position, I never have to go track down more Open Dollar. I can always just sell my vault because the whole system is just so flexible and safe that I have the option to do that. So I hope that probably was more details than you were hoping for, but I hope that answers the question a little bit about where this yield comes from, how the value accrues, and really that Open Dollar, it gives us this additional utility on top of Ethereum staking, which makes it more powerful and allows us really to support the future of Ethereum.
You know what? I love the details. There's never enough details when it comes to information, technology, and when it comes to dealing with the finance, right? So really, I love the answer. It actually was perfect. It actually opened my eyes, understanding the whole Rocket Pool ETH versus Ethereum, and understanding the stability. Because I right when you were saying that, you were like, go check, blah blah blah. I did. I went and checked CoinMarketCap, and it's at 2490, while Ethereum's sitting at about 2280, that means it's $210 more overall value. So it shows that being pulled to there, even during the down market, it's still increasing higher over time. So it's definitely some new information that I'm going to be deep diving after this AMA. But I like to learn about the markets and understanding it. And you never know, this might be a new value opportunity for myself to start utilizing Open Dollar to start earning, or even like you're saying, that I have plenty of times where I didn't want to have to sell my crypto, but I had to get my car repaired, and I didn't have the extra money, and cars are expensive. It cost me like $4,000, and I had to sell my little bit of ETH I had, and it hurt. I would rather have taken a loan, and that was paying itself off, and there wasn't too many opportunities out there that I felt safe enough to utilize my money, because I seen how some of them were, and I just didn't want to take the chance. But now I'm hurting when I did that.
Yeah. Let's go to that example really fast. You have this car payment you want to make. You don't want to have to sell your ETH. And even if you use regular DeFi, if you use Aave or Compound or any of these other platforms in DeFi where you can take loans, you can borrow stablecoins against that ETH without having to ever sell it. And then you pay for your car. And then the price of ETH doubles. And it's like, hey, I have, $1,000 of ETH in here, but only $100 in debt. Let me go get my ETH. No, you can't. Because that loan, you cannot access your collateral. You cannot access your original deposit until the loan is paid back. And that is unfair. It's not flexible. It's not how loans work in traditional finance. And it is a major, major weakness of DeFi that Open Dollar is solving with our NFT vaults, our NFVs. And in the Open Dollar, if you had borrowed from Open Dollar instead, you want to access that $1,000 of collateral that you have in there. Instead of having to come up with money to pay back your debt, you can sell that entire loan to me. I'll buy it every single time for $1 less than the value of your collateral minus the value of your debt. So in that example, say you had $1,000 in collateral and $100 in debt. Your loan, your total vault is worth $900. I'll buy it for $875. I'll buy that every single time because I make a little bit and you get out of your position safely, flexibly, transparently, and in a way that no other DeFi protocol offers. And that's the revolution. That's what we're creating with Open. That's why it changes everything.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that a lot. And truth be told, there's plenty of times where that exact thing has happened to me, where I needed some money. I didn't want to sell, but it was like I had to, and then I did, and then I woke up the next day and it doubled. It literally 2x'd from where I was at, and I'm like, what? Why did I get to get kicked? Like, that didn't make no sense. I got kicked right in the butt so hard. And I feel bad because, like, if I would have had an opportunity to be able to take a loan somewhere else that was a secure manner, but also, in a way that I can then get rid of the loan and or sell that through the NFT. It's like you were saying. I think it's huge. And people just need to be able to see it. I think that obviously you're doing really good things in the community wise. Growing and scaling, but I think that utility branding is going to be your biggest win, because branding it correctly in the space is not hard, but getting it to be seen how the value's there is really what I think that the spoken word of it needs to be, because people don't realize getting stuck into something like that it can be much more detrimental, not just to the company or the investors, but to the company overall, because when investors start to lose their ability to earn or the opportunities, their loyalty starts to wean off, and they just start looking at other places. And so I just love that you're looking at every way that you can relieve pain from your investors, because ultimately that's the best solution, is take care of your community.
Exactly. And that's our only goal with all of the security things, with all the flexibility, is really just being able to take care of people and give them access to their money, right? It's your money. You deposited it in Open Dollar, and you should be able to access that value anytime. And I will die on that hill.
No, I totally agree. So basically, you've covered like 90% of my comments, my questions. I mean, really, your transparency is spot on, and I enjoyed the conversation we had today. But obviously, this is your product, this is your company, and you know it better than anybody. So if there's anything that I might have missed, or something that you think that is important that we need to speak about or brought up to the community, please, let's take some time, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, to kind of talk about it, because I hate to get on the conversation and go on a bunch of tangents and talk about some of the good stuff that was in the product, but miss some of the other great things that the community is going to love.
Yeah. I mean, I could talk about the DAO that we're trying to build, or more about our test net. But I think really
that was my other question. I'm sorry, I didn't have it written down, but you mentioned it earlier that you can utilize the test net right now. So can you maybe tell us a little bit about that? Like, what do I got to do to get on the test net? What benefits the users have from coming in? Like rewards or whatever you're doing to help the community gain and to get users to start utilizing, because that could be a great thing for my community to get a good eyes on what you're building.
So I definitely suggest trying out the Open Dollar testnet before the end of the year, because we really are in the final stages of getting ready for a mainnet launch on Arbitrum. And right now you can go to opendollar.com and sign in with MetaMask or Wallet Connect or pretty much any wallet. If you have a wallet that we don't support yet, send me a message, post that in Discord, and I would love to support it. So right now we're deployed on Sepolia Arbitrum testnet, which is free. There's a bot on our Discord that can airdrop you free testnet tokens and testnet ETH. And we have basically an unlimited amount of that. So, go crazy and try every button, try opening a vault, try transferring the NFT vault, and using our tests, using our deployment however you want, using the app however you want. And if you find any bugs, if you find something that doesn't work, that no one else has found, definitely we're gonna reward you, and I'm not gonna say how much because I don't want to set expectations. But if you find something that's broken, or we really appreciate that. And like I said before, we're building this with our community and for our community. So the more people that try it out, test it, give us feedback, the better. And then we might be keeping track of who is doing that. And we really appreciate it. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, our testnet is live. It's been up for about a bit more than a month, and you can try it right now on opendollar.com and see how you like it.
Oh, there it goes. It wouldn't let me off mute for a second. That is weird. Thank you, Twitter. No, I appreciate that explanation. That's awesome. So I implore my community, if you are interested, obviously join the socials, get to know, the team in Discord, ask questions. But while you're doing that, go check out the platform, test it out. You're not only going to be doing yourself a favor, but you're going to be doing the team a favor and your community members alike and investors alike a favor. Because let's say nobody found a certain bug and you're just messing around and you find something. You're not only going to create possible value for yourself, but you're creating a more safer, inclusive place for all your fellow investors and community members to come in and join and utilize the platform. I know that December's usually a slower month, so if you are interested and still want to be in the crypto, these guys are building and getting ready to launch it, and so might as well be, if you're interested, in depth into understanding how you can be first in. So you don't want to be the first, last in. You always want to be first in, especially when it comes to anything that earns yield, anything that has percentages, because it's just how the algorithm works. So if you're early, you might get an extra percentage or two comparative to you would if you waited a week or two, and a lot of people come. But obviously, this is a huge platform, has huge value. So I would say go test it out, because there's things in here that ain't being done in the space. You never know if you're going to find some really cool ways to make opportunity in the space and earn. So, and with that being said, I just wanted to make sure people know about the test. I heard you say something about that earlier, and then we didn't touch on it. And I was like, no, we need to make sure we highlight that, because it's free. You're not spending your own money, and you get your faucet, you get to go in, and then you get to utilize some technology that's being built that's first of its kind. So definitely like it a lot.
Exactly. And like I said, you can join our Discord after going to opendollar.com, and there is a link there to join the Discord. And in the Discord, there's OpenBot, and OpenBot can give you free testnet ETH. So it is totally free and safe to participate. There's really absolutely no risk to you. It's only really upside. And then you just have the ability to help us test this, and we really appreciate it.
And the AI bot, you were saying that you basically ingrained all of Open Dollar's information into it, so that its metrics knows everything about the ecosystem. So I can go there, and if I have a question, instead of me having to wait, because I know it's going to be busy. You're going to get an influx of people giving you tickets, over the next couple of weeks, even at launch time. Could I ask basic questions with the bot, or even some advanced questions that it can give me kind of idea on what I'm doing?
I want to challenge you right now to go to the Open Dollar Discord and go to the questions channel and ask the most complex possible question that you can. And I can almost guarantee that the AI we trained on the Open Dollar docs will be able to answer it. And if it can't, it will probably link you somewhere in the docs. It will probably link to the docs somewhere that you could find your answer. And if you can't, I promise that I will personally answer your question. But it is really good. I've been pretty impressed by that. I think our team is pretty cutting edge, not just on how we are building this DeFi protocol that I think will really change stablecoins forever, but also on how we interact with people, and how we share our documentation, and really just an incredible team that we've put together. I'm very grateful to be working with people like Tim is on the call right now, and just everybody on our team. So yeah, you can go to opendollar.com and try a testnet. You can join our Discord and ask our Discord bot questions about how it works, and just making all the educational aspects of Open Dollar and teaching people where the yield comes from, how it's sustainable, how the security works, is really very important to us. We want everyone to feel like they understand what they're doing and not to just throw money into things that they don't understand, which is, part of the culture on crypto that I don't really like. But, we're trying to do something unique here and something that lasts for a long time.
I agree, man. I love it. Actually, that's pretty cool. That's a good little challenge. The reason why I asked too was because there's plenty of times where I went into a product and they're like, yeah, just ask our AR chat bot any questions. And I go in and I'll try to ask it just some basic questions, and they'll just like, sorry, that's not my knowledge, or sorry, I can't, that I come up with information, or I'm just a chat AI bot. I'm not, privy to that information. So it's really good that you really, decided to really put that to a next step. It's a huge value proposition for you. It takes a lot of weight off of your guys' back, and it's easy, it's fast, and gives you concise information. You can't beat that.
Exactly.
Sorry, go ahead. I cut you off a little bit when you were saying something.
No, that's it. That's basically everything. I think you've got a great understanding of Open Dollar, and I don't really have much more to add to that. But I hope everyone checks out the giveaway that we're doing with crypto miners and check out our Galaxy campaign. There's a lot of rewards right now coming from Open Dollar, and it's really just the beginning.
You know what? I will say this has been a great AMA space today. Like, obviously, you guys have a huge ecosystem. We only touch on so much, and then obviously you guys are in the background building, for more value for the future and long term. So, obviously there's so much to unpack here, and we could probably be talking about, the value of Open Dollar, all day. But it really ultimately it really takes community going in there, utilizing the ecosystem, checking out what you're building, and then like you're saying, get feedback if there is some. If not, then accepting the beautiful product you build. If there's no feedback, obviously people will be looking at a product that was built correctly by a base team. Obviously, you guys really thought, thoroughly on how to build a product not only shows value to your customers, but also value to the ecosystem overall. I mean, you can just tell that you're looking at it differently and seeing pain points in there and things that have probably been what has caused some of those other stable coins to kind of either not scale or fall when they did. So, and I don't want to speak too many of them because that was history, and now tech has grown a lot, and the future looks bright on Arbitrum. I definitely like the fact that you're on Arbitrum. I enjoy a lot of products on Arbitrum. So just overall, the professionalism that's coming from the team all the way down through the stack of the product line, it's just very impressive. So I actually had a great space. I know my community had a great space with you guys today. I think it was like over 400 and something likes and retweets and whatnot on the giveaway for miners. And I implore everybody here not only to come to the miners and check out that giveaway, but go to Galaxy, check out that giveaway. It not only is going to give you an opportunity to earn, but it's going to help showcase their product on a wider audience by letting them trend. This is an awesome product, and I believe that they're going to be doing good things in the space. So obviously, I really thank you guys a lot for coming. The entire team, that was here. You said there was somebody else in here, and I could tell there were some other community members in here when I was scrolling through. And so just to see the type of community engagement that you have, and just looking at your platform alone, I can just tell you're set for success. I think you really have to look at a team, not only from the product, but also the mentality, and obviously the community mentality is very, very set in place. So I just want to remind crypto miners to look for innovation, push the boundaries, build together. That's ultimately what we're looking for. So keep the conversation going, keep trending. Let's like and retweet. Let's get Open Dollar out there. Let's show them that we support them over here. And as you're growing and as your testnet is finishing, you're going live, don't forget to let us know so that we can update our community about it too. We really appreciate the time. And if you have a last minute call to action or anything you want to say before we close things out today, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah, just follow Open Dollar on Twitter. It's open_dollar. And thank you so much for joining us. If you have other questions, definitely join our Discord, and we'll be happy to answer it. But thanks for tuning in. I appreciate every single person.
Yes, community, if you did have some questions that we didn't get time to answer today, go challenge that AI bot. Let's see if you can beat it. Right? Post some screenshots of you beating it, and you might get a reward even from my side, because that's my challenge as it is. So get out there, utilize the ecosystem, join their socials, ask questions, and try to go break the bot. That's my advice for you guys. So yeah, no, awesome. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you, man. You have a great day. Good luck with everything. And I really appreciate you coming on and showcasing it to us.